Well, is mine working? Hang on.
No, yours isn't working.
Yeah.
Is it? I
Yeah,
can't
you're
hear
working.
myself.
Oh, not this
Oh,
again.
God.
I-
Can't tell if he's serious.
no,
or
I'm
not.
honestly.
serious.
Have you turned your headphones up?
Yeah, that's
Why did you
Testing,
wait
testing.
for MJ to say we're rolling to bring it up?
What do you mean?
Did you hear him say we're
That's all
rolling?
good. I'm all good.
It was the
God.
headphone.
No, it wasn't. It's not quite perfect. It's fine.
Sums you up.
That's actually the first technical difficulty we've had in a while.
And again, who is it? Like,
Yeah, it's always.
No, it wasn't.
was that?
No, it's usually Ben, to be fair.
that's not. What?
Uh,
Oh, my God.
My apologies for missing the last step.
All good, man.
No worries, mate.
And we're back.
Yeah, I feel like
and
we've got heaps of. We've got a big run sheet.
big run sheet. We really thought that Ben would have played a game of footy by now, but unfortunately not to be. We'll get
touch
to
on
that in a second, of course, because we start with this or that.
We don't have to do this or that. Like,
This or that.
Now the this or that document is completely updated, so I've got a plethora of this or that's. to choose
Plethora?
from.
wow.
So shout out to the committee for their sensational work yet again. Ben will know that one. Let's just do the first one off the top.
You can't just skim past
Yeah,
and go,
I
Ben
agree.
will know that one.
I know
Well,
all of them, so
Ben would actually know this because I know he's played the game. But all right, I'll do a separate one. Fiddleheads, Fiddleheads. Is it a young fern plant which can be cut off and eaten, or the name the fans of Jimmy from Zach Brown bands give themselves?
say that last part again.
Jack Brown Band.
Yeah, the name of the fans that they give themselves.
All right, I'm locked in.
I'm going to go the plant. I think maybe the plants have little heads on them.
I'm going the Jack Brown Band fans.
Is it Zach or Jack Brown?
I don't know.
It
Is it
says
Zach?
Zach here, but
Yeah,
you're
okay,
saying
Zach.
Jack.
No, I haven't heard of him.
Okay. Well, you're wrong, Rollo. So,
Oh, damn.
yeah. Oh, remember you have to give a reason why.
I did.
but-
I did.
Yeah,
give
sorry,
it a
and Rollo didn't. Yeah.
I just know that like Heads is like a name of a fan base. It's just like, oh yeah, we're
Footy
Bomber
Heads,
Heads. Yeah,
yeah.
Footy Heads. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So it was just so specific that I
Yeah.
thought
But it was wrong.
But you're
So,
on.
Yeah.
So.
good from the committee.
That's okay. Yeah. One
Yeah.
from one. Kind of.
Wow.
All right, Ben. Big topic over the weekend. So we thought you were meant to be playing the Gold Coast on the Gold Coast Saturday night
Saturday afternoon. Yep.
afternoon.
Yep.
And of course, that game has now been postponed. We didn't know when it was going to land, and now we have an idea it's going to be towards that bye week before the finals.
Yep. Yeah. I suppose I'll start back from last week. It was Tuesday last week, so we were recording this on the Tuesday. So we had a team meeting or a pre-training meeting on the Tuesday morning, and the first, obviously there was like the noise around Brisbane and Geelong, and that game was always sort of in danger, but didn't really ever feel like our game was sort of up in the air. So yeah, it was a pre-training meeting, and Brad, that was the first time Brad sort of said something around, well, there may be some doubt around the game. So this was Tuesday, like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then we went out and trained, didn't really think anything of it. It was a bit of a throwaway comment anyway. Like it was like, well, there's a little bit of noise around it, but as far as we know, obviously the clubs are so in on everything, like they hadn't been told
Yeah.
much at all. And
Was it starting to feel a little bit COVID-y when you started to hear?
it literally happened. So it was 10 a.m. and that was the first time the seed of not playing sort of was presented.
Yeah.
And then we trained. It was like a half day. We all went home and then got an email or whatever from the club saying the game's been postponed. So we literally didn't have any.
You got an email.
or whatever it was, an email or a message, whatever
Got
it
a
was.
written letter in the mail.
How many players are checking their emails?
A few.
Emails are crucial for the club. Like,
Oh yeah.
Really?
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
emails are
Anything.
like massive.
So at our club, anything significant will be emailed.
It's going to ben.mackay at essendonfc.com.
Yeah, we all have our own personal.
Really?
Club emails. Yeah.
And-
So
and-
anything insignificant will be on. We use Teamworks. So update to the schedule, physio, whatever.
As in like Microsoft Teams?
No, there's a separate app
Do you know Teams?
called Teamworks,
Teamworks, yeah.
which is
know
an app created for like sporting organisations and some
Right.
other organisations
Business
that
organisations.
And
have all your it's basically like a inclusive like a WhatsApp. It's got any appointments coming up, your schedule on there,
It's got contact
your away
information.
trips, contacts, like
this is
everything.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you reckon every club would have this?
Nah, I don't
Oh,
know what it is. It started off being about 4 or 5 people. 4 or 5 teams were using Teamworks, but
Yeah.
it might have increased now.
I'm looking at the dashboard. There we go. It's got a calendar and a
It's got everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Instant message service.
So anything I'd say insignificant is
So, yeah.
via Teamworks. Anything,
This was bigger than Teamworks.
Oh yeah, well yeah, it was. So yeah, it was Tuesday afternoon we found out, and then the Wednesday, Thursday were pretty normal. I mean, they obviously had a bit to work out in terms of what it looked like. There was no talk about when the rescheduling was. It was more just getting the next couple of days sorted out, and then we trained on the main training Wednesday, had a day off as if it was normal, and then they just made some changes across the Friday and the weekend. So they did it very well. They obviously didn't have a heap of time up their sleeves, the club, but I thought they handled themselves very well, and very unprecedented, isn't it? Like, we've never had that type of thing. Obviously, COVID was a little bit like that, but in terms of rescheduling a full game, it was a very strange week. But I thought the AFL handled it very well, and safety always comes first. So, as players, we were happy to abide, and made total sense from our point of view. But doesn't mean it wasn't a bit of a strange week when we found out, because it all happened very quickly. As I said, the Brisbane Geelong game we felt was always going to be moved, but our game, because it was a Saturday, had a few days, later on. So
how quickly? When did you find out about it?
The game, getting cancelled, on Tuesday.
Oh, I was like, he just said that.
That wasn't.
Oh, you were taking the piss.
Yeah, I was taking the piss.
Right.
Normally you're better than that, actually.
No, I just thought that was a bit funny.
No, it didn't land at all.
You got an email. He just went
got
through
an
all
email.
of
Yeah,
it.
sorry, man. I just had a mental blank.
Your headphones working?
Nah, see, it's not.
That's
I'm all
why.
off.
Mira from Wangaratta has a question about
Hello,
this.
Ben and Harry. This is Mira from Wangaratta. How does Ben feel about the opening round rescheduling? Go Blues.
Yeah, so I think once we found out it was postponed, then there was a bit of chatter around when it was going to be rescheduled too. So I think we found out when everyone else did. It was a few days later. I think there was a bit of talk around whether they can squeeze it in later in the year. I think we played Gold Coast round 17, whether you go back-to-back games up there.
Yeah.
Obviously, our buys don't line up, so it was never going to work early in the season. So, they landed round 24. I'm not sure what it exactly looks like. We're going to have to play 2 games that round anyway, because we play Carlton and then we'll squeeze in Gold Coast at some stage, assuming it'll be like a Thursday into a Wednesday game or Friday into a whatever it is. I don't know. But
It's not ideal, though, is it?
it's not. But I mean, I think you have to just
It's not
accept
ideal,
the
but then also you guys get
situations.
2 buys within 12 weeks as well to start the year.
Yeah, I think there's
Which is-
pros and cons to it, but ultimately it's out of everyone's hands. So
Who knows?
Do you
You
consider
never
this one a buy, though? Because it's like...
Well, round 6, you have a buy, don't you? Like
round 4.
Round 4, you have a genuine buy, a week off, and then in round 13, you have another buy.
Yeah, but I mean I think that's splitting hairs a bit. Like, we couldn't control that we didn't play.
No, I'm saying, but like it depends what way you look at it. Like, back end of the year might be a disadvantage for the late game, but then also inside the first 13 weeks, you have 2 buys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad either.
Because Brisbane and Geelong both have games... Sorry, they have buys in round 3. So
Yeah,
they're
so
going
that's
to
an
play...
easy-
lined up.
it's
That
an
one
easy one.
made complete sense. But would you have been more comfortable just splitting points with the Gold Coast?
That's a big call, though.
That's a
isn't it?
big call.
Huge call. I mean,
Yeah.
there's precedent with the death of Phil Walsh, that game.
Okay.
Those 2 teams split points. It's
True.
the only kind of precedent
Yep.
we have recently. But
I think there was a bit of chatter in the locker room if that was the case, but I think it quickly became no, we want to play.
We wanna play.
one way or the other.
You know, so it'll be a fascinating watch as the season goes on, won't it?
Yeah. I think it's one of those ones we'll forget about it, and then come later in the season when it gets confirmed, we'll sort of talk about it again. But
by August, it'll be like, oh, yeah, that's cyclone.
exactly. But I think, as I said at the start, the right decision was made, and these days in footy clubs in society, you got to be pretty flexible because things can change and pop up with not much notice at all. So I think the clubs did very well, and the AFL should be proud of their efforts.
Nice.
Nice.
Lauren from Essendon also has a question.
Hi, Ben and Harry. It's Lauren from Essendon. My question's for both of you. How are you both feeling, and what's the buzz usually like coming into round 1 with the new rookies and the new team list? What's the vibe like for round 1? Go Baggers.
Because now
Thanks,
we're in round 1 now
Yeah.
for both
Well,
of you.
It was very strange. So obviously Monday, Tuesday, even the weekend before last week, we're playing. You're picking your eyes out of the opposition. You're going to work. You're mentally preparing yourself for the first game, and then literally, click of a finger, and you're not playing for another 10 days. So that was quite mentally challenging. You go from, as I said, you're really preparing for your first game and all the nerves and planning, etc., to you're playing again in 10 days with your first. So I think there was a bit of a a little bit of the vibe or the energy sort of got sucked out of the room. But this week's felt like properly like the first round, like it probably should have last week. But yeah, ultimately pretty excited, and we sort of started last week, and then now we're sort of into it properly. So I think ultimately, you're pretty pumped.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, we were always scheduled to play Richmond Thursday night. So yeah, the buzz is very big and strong, and everyone's very excited for the start of the season, and it always feels a bit unique, Ben. Do you reckon? Like when the season starts in the first game, it's a very
crazy. Yeah,
it's a hard feeling to describe, but very exciting. It's cool that it marks the start of footy season. You're back into the rhythm of playing and season. So it's always a really fun fixture, the Richmond Carlton one. So it's something we're all really looking forward to. I think we've got it here, a couple of club debutants and first gamers. So it's going to be all happening, and can't wait.
What can you tell us about Lucas Campriali?
They're twins, aren't they?
Yeah, Campo. Yeah, the Campo boys, Ben and Lucas. Both terrific kids. Both have come in. Obviously, their dad played a long time for Carlton, so they've been around the club a little bit, just through the academies and whatnot. But both terrific young kids came in and just started working hard straight away. No fuss operators, just getting it done. Lucas has barely missed a session. Works really hard at his game, and he's fitted in seamlessly. So really excited to see what he can bring. I was having a chat to him today, but in the first game, all we expected is just to bring effort, and everyone will get around him, and just to really enjoy the moment. So can't wait to play with him. He's going to be awesome, and what a great round to play your first game.
Yeah, so debut for him, and then Nick Haynes on the other end of the spectrum.
It's hard to. I'm not sure how old Haynes is, but he's flying around. He looks amazing. He's obviously he's had a very decorated career at the Giants, but then to come across and I think he hasn't missed barely a drill all summer. He's done everything, moved terrifically across the park, and also has that element of leadership and experience behind the ball. So another terrific person, fitted in seamlessly, and they're really two great additions to the side that can't wait to play with.
Did you spend much time against him in
intra-clubs? I remember saying, there was... not intra-clubs. So in my... Over the last 10 years, like this...
Oh, yeah, of course.
Every time we played against Giants, it was like, all right, we have to make sure someone... does something on Hainsey, because he'll just float across and intercept mark and be so annoying to have to come up against the back line. So to be on the other side of that and have him on your team is something I'm very excited for. But definitely throughout the preseason, you mix and match on all the different forwards and defenders. But as I said, he's been very impressive over the summer, and looks $1 million.
Underrated recruit, actually. I think Nick Haynes coming in with Wiedering. It's going to be really interesting to see how those two go. And then Jackson Pryor comes in from the Lions for Essendon. And then we'll see Isaac Kako, who lit it up in the preseason.
Yeah.
Bombers fans going wacko for Kako.
We touched on Isaac last week. I mentioned similar to what Harry said about Lucas. And Ben, very humble kid, very respectful. I think you love seeing those type of kids come through these days that have got a really level head and mature outlook on life, even at their age. So can't wait to play with Isaac. To Harry's point, especially as a first gamer, all you ask for is your effort, and the boys will get around him 100%. So very excited to play with Isaac. And then Jacko's been great as well. I mean, coming from a club like Brisbane, who obviously won the flag and have been there or thereabouts the last 4 or 5 years, he's actually added quite a lot of knowledge, and even though he hasn't played a lot of footy at AFL level, he's got a lot of experience. He's been around a really mature organisation up in Queensland. So
footy IP. Did they ever talk about that?
IP?
Intellectual property. I think it's more of a coaching term.
Yeah, Jackson definitely has that. As I said, when you're around such professional, smart football people, it certainly rubs off on him. So another great addition, and he'll fit in seamlessly in the back line, which is good for us. And bring on Friday night. It's always good. I think it always gives you energy, and you can probably agree, Harry, when you got a young kid debuting or someone that's playing their first game for the club, it always gives you a bit of energy. Like today at the club, they got told, and the cameras are around, and
it's always the best. It's always so good when someone's debuting.
And then the boys were talking about when they first found out, and it just creates a bit of a spark amongst the group.
Fun.
So it's always a really fun time.
And then I want to ask, so you're playing Hawthorn on the Friday night, so you boys are Thursday and then Friday.
Yeah.
And I think they're expecting a bigger crowd for that one than the
heard that
Carlton
today,
game,
yeah.
which is
What are they expecting
huge.
for our one?
I think it's something like 70 to 80 for yours and then pushing towards 90 for Ben's, which is...
Both will be huge. Yeah.
Both huge, absolutely. So you're playing Hawthorn, who you saw play last Friday against Sydney.
Yep.
Are you watching that barracking for either side? Do you care? Do you like, what's
Nah.
your, like, as a fan?
It's actually a good question. I mean, for the teams that you're watching that you know you're going to play the next week, you always keep maybe a fraction more of an eye on what they're doing. But I think you try and keep that to throughout the week and just sort of watch it as a bystander and, try and keep it pretty neutral. But, yeah, it was certainly interesting. It's pretty rare that one team plays before another team's even played a first game like us. So
I couldn't watch the games. It just didn't feel... It felt weird that there was games on, but then we weren't on for another 7-8 days.
Well, that was like us last year. We didn't play, and obviously this year, but it was different in terms of we were not expecting to play until the week after. So it was a bit weird, but because we did play them this week, you certainly keep a bit of an eye on them for sure. But certainly as a neutral bystander, don't try and barrack one way or the other.
You're not hoping someone pings a calf or something and just...
No.
No.
Not that mean-spirited.
No.
As a player, you never hope for injuries for anyone.
No.
Of course.
Karma.
Yeah.
We're right.
Well, I'm not a player, so it doesn't matter. We have a really good question here from Cindy that is related to an issue that's been in the news the last few days.
Cindy from Rowville here. Just wondering, would you prefer your coach to be on the bench or up in the box? Go Blues. Thank you.
Of course, we saw Craig McRae and Adam Kingsley have a bit of a stoush down on ground level over the weekend. What are your preferences?
When did that even come into vogue, like coaching from the boundary line?
It's a really good question.
How did it start?
I reckon...
Was it COVID?
No, I think it was before that. I reckon Simon Goodwin coached in 21 from... I reckon he might have been the first to win a premiership from the... But that's a bit of a stab. It's relatively recent, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels really recent.
Fags has almost been doing it the whole time he's been at Brisbane, I think.
Bossy does it. He's on the bench.
Yeah.
I like how Bossy's on the bench. It's I think it's cool to because there's quite a lot of coaches and analysts in the actual box. Having someone on the ground level that can see a few things or pick up on a small vibe or like some body language or just getting around your players, and that's probably the best part. Like if you come off the bench and we're going well and Bossy gets around you or gives you some really good feedback around this is what we're seeing, that can be really good as well. So I think I'm sure different coaches prefer different things, but I like the balance of you get the analytical stuff up from the box sent down, and then Bossy more of like nearly like an extension of a teammate getting around you when you come on and off. Yeah, to a degree, absolutely. So it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think Brad is coaching from the coaches, but I think he's always done that. So you're right. It's certainly personal preference, but I can see why coaches do both sides. Yeah, both have advantages, and I suppose it's personal preference, but yeah.
This is a good one. So I think Ben's seen this, but Harry hasn't, and it's a wrap that Fox Footy put up on their socials. So I think this has been seen widely, despite the fact that it's since been pulled.
Do you reckon that's
from
the
their
first mistake
socials.
they deleted?
Yeah, you can't pull that.
I agree.
I don't know. Just stand by.
Yeah, it looks worse that you delete it. Anyway.
And unfortunately for your teammate Harry, Paddy Cripps has been pulled into
Well,
this.
just the other week.
Talk about it after. Watch his performance first, and then
Okay.
we'll see what Cripps thought.
Fox Footy on the beach, yo.
I see it, but I can't believe it.
The stage is set. This is fantastic. They're putting on a show. Here it's game time.
Lace up your boots.
We got the best commentators.
Coming live from the booth.
Fox Footy's here to stay.
No ad breaks during play.
Every game of every round. And it's all in 4K. Super Saturdays here.
So you know what that means.
Exclusive live footy.
With your favourite team. Grab your mates, gather round.
504 is the place to be.
Up to round 8, right across the country.
If we haven't convinced you,
One thing you gotta know.
watch your games anywhere, anytime with Fox 10 Go.
Now we're bringing it home.
At Fox Footy, we care.
If you really love your footy, you'll forget freeware.
Phenomenal. That's off the scale. And that's one of the highlights of the year.
Look, it's a hard
Okay.
watch.
Well, yeah. I don't think it was horrendous, but It's certainly
It wasn't horrendous.
certainly unique.
So it's horrendous, but not horrendous.
I don't know why they would have taken that down.
No,
though. Like,
you
Stand
see
by
that
it.
stuff all the
yeah,
time.
there's worse stuff out there than that. Like, but yeah, it was funny. A few weeks ago, Cripper was like, I think we must have been talking about because it was on the Fox Footy shoot when we were doing the night one, and we must have been talking about some of the like cringes stuff we've done over our careers, whatever. Yeah, and then Cripper was like, "Yeah, I had a bad one last week, a couple of weeks ago." And yeah, I should have said I just got roped into it, and yeah, I think it's gonna come up not looking great. So that was what he was talking about. But
have you been in that situation where you've done something you're just like, oh, I'm dreading that one coming out?
Yeah, it's always so hard to say no. Like if someone's like, oh, man, everyone else has done this little rap, like
they try and
just do a couple of lyrics.
They try and spin it as if it's
no one else would have done it, but
well, clearly no other player did it. Cripper's just been.
Yeah. But also when it doesn't. It's fine.
Yeah. But like you have to sit down with those. Like every station will have their like, every we got 2 players from each club that are doing like a this or that, for instance, and or like you're drawing your team's logo or those challenges, and your clubs would have similar things.
Yeah,
wouldn't they? Do you ever refuse those opportunities?
Oh yeah, sometimes you're just like, yeah, no, I'm not keen on that. But to be fair, like all of the
most of them
from the club. That's who we deal with the most. They're always very big on making sure you don't do anything you're not comfortable with, or we can edit it and send it to you, and if you like it, then we can post it. If not, so they're never out to stitch you up or anything like that. So yeah, but
it was pretty funny.
Poor Cripper.
Yeah,
as MJ said, Fox Footy. They'll be analysing your performances all year, so
yeah,
it's only fair.
Keep up the sleeve.
It's only fair.
I reckon they should repost it and leave it up and really own it.
Yeah.
Repost it now. Yeah, that'd be a big call, wouldn't it?
Double down.
I reckon. Who cares?
Speaking of Cripper, the Instagram poll went up, and we were asking if he should join us on the show, and we needed a valid reason. And 95% of people said yes. I mean, it's a no-brainer. If we can get Cripper, we want Cripper.
Yeah. Well,
not according to Harry.
No, I didn't say no, but I'm just saying any guest that wants to come on, we'd like them to add value to the show.
Yeah.
But Cripper did say today that if somehow you're still going in 2026, well, I might jump on.
If
there.
us,
are
still going 20. Oh, yeah, right. So is this written off the year?
Well, I mean, reading between the lines. Yeah.
Sounds
as if you're still going around.
Blatant no.
It's a blatant no.
Get him on a rap.
Yeah, we're doing another rap.
Twinners.
That's very funny.
Ben and Harry's.
I'm so excited for this.
Winners.
Birds often think I'm a tree.
And losers.
Mandarins. I just love him. I'm mandarins at the moment.
Which horror do you reckon Ben will have that will go into the promo this year?
Remember when you said you were a tree?
Yeah, it's still in there.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I said it.
That was a great twinner. That was one of the best. I think.
I like
was that a
that.
loser?
Birds think I'm a tree.
Sometimes birds think that can't be a twinner.
Yeah, where's the twinner in that?
What's the benefit?
Anyway,
Ben, new ball. Yeah.
My twinner is. Did you see the video of some of the players, AFL and AFLW, doing the runway at the?
Oh
Fashion
yeah,
Week?
for homie.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think we see that sort of stuff enough in our game. Obviously, it's big internationally in America, etc. But I thought it was a really cool touch that they got involved and adding a bit of personality. I don't know, it was through. Was it homie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought. It was something a bit different, but I thought it came across pretty well. So
I didn't see that, but that's cool. Nice.
I saw Ginnivan and Simpkin were involved.
I was in it. I think there's some AFLW players as well. So
Yeah, awesome.
Anytime you can transcend the footy field and do some of those sort of things, I think it's a good look for the game. So
well, that kind of half rolls into it. My twinner was just all the vibrancy of Melbourne at the moment. So obviously Melbourne Fashion Week's on, the F1's on, footy's back. I know the comedy festival's coming up, the meat and wine festival's coming up. Moomba was on.
True.
And the weather.
The weather's been beautiful. It's just a really good time to be in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Other than the traffic.
Yeah, but then the downs. Speaking of losers.
God. Lakeside Drive. I need the F1 circuit to get home. And when it's closed,
as a Bayside resident, it's the downside of the F1.
I'm jumping into my loser.
So does that change your whole route to get home, or is it not?
I'm
that
okay,
bad?
but Rollo might be.
Oh, it adds like an easy 15 minutes to my journey.
Yeah.
It's
the
so
4
frustrating.
days, like where I am, the 4 days is pretty.
So when do they close Lakeside Drive? Like 2 weeks before? Or
They tend to for peak hour. they open it back up, which is actually a kind of a cool experience. You get to drive,
As if you,
and
yeah.
all the
That's
stands
cool,
are there. Yeah,
Yeah.
you feel like you're driving for McLaren.
So they've closed that off now, or are they?
Yeah,
still-
now it's
now
completely shut.
done,
Yeah, because the race is
Few
so
days now.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you got a Twitter?
Dead air.
Well, you said Ben's rolled into yours. What
Yep.
was your-
No,
what
my
was your
twinner was being Melbourne. The
Oh,
vibrancy
the
of Melbourne.
vibrancy of Melbourne. Yeah.
Have you got a Twitter? Rob?
No. I just
No,
I just
prepared.
provide one.
All right. Well, my
A winner or a loser.
my loser. We touched on it before, but because we didn't play on Saturday, it meant Friday was a big session, and it felt like pre-season vibes again, like running, some like grappling stuff, just like a bit of a throwback pre-season session. So that was a downer. Going back to like it felt like the first session. It was like lots of running, lots of just physical stuff. And they sort of sprung it on us as well. They said, it'd be a sort of punchy session, and then it turned out to be one of the a pretty big one. So that was probably not the greatest one, but
Not your greatest loser, or not?
yeah, not the greatest loser, but thought it was
Yeah. Hard session.
Well, you'll enjoy this one, Ben. This is more of a round table discussion. How are we feeling around the public holiday surcharges at the moment?
I was going to say this one as well.
Well, because
It's ridiculous. is what it is.
Yesterday there was one of the cafes went to. It was 18% surcharge.
18
for a public holiday. I mean, that's like, I understand it's hard to get people to work, but 18's a fair.
Oh, where have they plucked that from?
Yeah, it's either do 20 or 15, wouldn't you? Like, 18's quite strange.
Yeah,
I agree.
Saturday surcharges are starting to sneak in as well.
It can't be done
big
Saturday.
issue with, because that's just the day you want to get brunch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sooner it'll be any day ending in Y is a surcharge.
No,
which is all of them for.
Oh, thanks for that clarity.
Ben's benefit.
Thank God you clarified that.
Nice. Oh, trending topic.
Have fun.
Ben and Harry.
I didn't know this
They
was fun.
always know what's going on. The thought leaders.
Across it all.
They are up to date.
I get all my info from them. The Ben and Harry. Trending topic.
Wait.
This is
Marshall
the
needs to
best.
add in a little. He's great with the promos, but he needs to add in like a clip of Ben saying something dumb, or like,
or you maybe.
Nah, that'd be hard to find.
It would just be so much harder to find.
Take Marshall.
I'm not agreeing with that. It'd be about an even split.
I think. What do you call these intros? Is there a proper name for it?
What would you say? You'd play
Sting.
Sting.
Or
But
grab.
then this playing underneath us now is a bed.
Yeah, that's a bed.
But the intro, I reckon this is our best one.
Yeah,
I
for
really
sure.
like it.
I really
like
like it.
Yeah,
And we've
Marshall's
got
earned his money again.
high bar. Trending topic this week: Formula One in town, as we have touched on briefly. Got some talking points here. Jack Doohan. Are we across? Jack, son of Mick.
No,
not massively.
Sorry, Jack, but
I saw he was plugging in a side joint just near me the other day.
Right,
thanks
Good
for
on
that.
you.
Nice.
I think it might have been Oakberry. Jack Doohan will compete in his first ever Formula One Australian Grand Prix this weekend, and he's joining Oscar Piastri. So we're going to have two Aussies on the grid in Melbourne.
Cool. That's amazing.
Oscar, of course, is our favourite. Are we thinking he's a chance? Are you F1 guys?
Softly, yeah. Not super into it, but know enough about what's going on.
Taylor was watching the Drive to Survive
Yeah.
yesterday, so yeah, similar.
So this year
Yes
it's
and
different because this is the first race of the season, right? So
Yeah.
Is it not all
kicks it off.
always?
It has been a few times in the past, but
Yeah.
I think it was Bahrain last year.
Yeah.
We're always early,
Yeah.
Yep.
but we're often first.
Yeah.
It sounds a pretty ruthless industry. Even just watching a bit of the Drive to Survive. God, it sounds ruthless. Like,
Yeah.
obviously lots of money at stake, but yeah, you don't get much room for error, it sounds like. But
So Will, are you heading down to do the poor questions again?
Oh, you don't want to say shit?
I prefer not to swear. I prefer not to
Sorry.
swear when I
Yeah,
have to. But
He's careful with his brand. He's meeting Charles Leclerc.
yeah.
I actually am. I'm going down on Thursday, which will be exciting. And me doing the questions last year actually ends up in Drive to Survive. Very briefly, you can
right.
see me interviewing Carlos
Wow.
Sainz. Yeah, so I've gone.
as in
I'm
just
on
in the
Netflix.
background or like...
It's pretty
Do
prominent.
you need to
Someone-
vet any of the questions through us? Like just, get them...
Oh, that's a good point. Hang on, let me
So
just.
are you aware of the Ben and Harry podcast, maybe? Or?
Here's
That's a good one, actually.
instant no. there I am. It's like it's. Oh, you didn't see me.
It's brief. It's certainly brief.
It's very brief. It's in super
they
slow
are,
mo.
You're in the red there.
You look like part of the team.
Yeah, I do look like I'm part of Ferrari.
That's pretty cool, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had who would win if everyone did the race in reverse. That's one of my early ones. Yeah.
Have you got a couple more for us?
Yeah.
Just
do you know your Wi-Fi password?
that's a good.
Do you?
Do you come up with all these, or do you get help? Bit of
I
both?
usually I ask a couple of mates. Yeah.
Right.
Do you have one
Do you
for
reckon
me?
you could somehow try and get the podcast in there?
What is that?
It'll be very hard. I'll try my best.
All right.
What's your
Well-
favourite punctuation?
Full stop.
Exclamation mark.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Well, actually, as I said off air, I'm meeting Charles Leclerc, the Ferrari driver, tomorrow. So
Yep.
might get him to do something with the podcast, or we'll ask him a question or something. So
He might be a guest before Cripper, which
maybe,
is
yeah.
extraordinary.
I do hear that he does like the podcast. So
Alongside Taylor Swift as well, and a few others.
yeah, there is a few
It's a
on the
growing
list,
list.
but yeah, we'll see if we get around him.
Yeah, definitely drop the podcast in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're going to that event. Are either of you going to head to the practice or the qualifying or the race
Potentially,
itself?
I haven't actually got anything to plan. The race day we train because we play on Thursday to Thursday, so Sunday is off for going to be tough to get to. But yeah, maybe Saturday might wander around.
Yeah, nice.
Don't know.
Probably not.
Probably
Not a massive fan of it. It would be cool though. It's obviously, to your point earlier,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool for the town to have it in. But
Oh, it's unreal.
see how we go. We play Friday,
It's
so
unreal.
weekend off. We'll see how we go.
Yeah. And Lewis Hamilton, his very first race with
Yeah.
Ferrari. So it's a big deal. There's going to be a lot of eyeballs on this race.
Does he obviously just drive a Ferrari like whenever he wants to?
Oh, the bed ended. Yeah, I imagine. That's a good question.
I
Does he
might
just-
ask that. I can ask Charles that tomorrow.
Ask Charles.
You can't imagine him driving like a
He's in a Holden.
A Jeep. Question time. This is one from Aaron.
Hey boys, Aaron from Rockhampton here. I was just wondering, do you guys like to take any advice from each other? Like, since you play at opposite ends of the fields or anything, or do you just steer clear of that sort of conversation? Cheers, boys. Love the show.
Terrific question,
Thanks,
Aaron.
Aaron. I love that.
Yeah. So it's funny.
Why's that fun?
Because I've heard Harry provide you with some before. And
What did I say?
it was something about using your skills to more effect, and you should kick the ball and get up the field and get involved in the link-up play a bit more.
Yeah, no, I was just saying from experience, any key defender that gets involved in offense I think that's an asset to a team. So I reckon the more you can do that, the better. But funny to say that because
I just don't remember him ever doing it back to you.
Oh, there's been plenty of times, mate. Don't worry. To be fair, Aaron, we probably should. I remember my
We do a
partner,
little bit,
my
though.
partner Matty's like, you guys should talk way more about like the intricacies of the position because you both have played it for 10 years and etc. But yeah, it's more of a piss take kind of thing if we try and give advice on footy.
Yeah.
But also we talk so much footy in your life, so sometimes when we catch up with
Yeah.
family and stuff, it's nice just to talk
Yeah,
about
I'd say
other stuff.
there's fleeting moments that we do have a genuine
Yeah.
conversation about on-field stuff as it relates to us. But
Maybe we talk we wax on bigger, different, more like broader probably stuff, like performance stuff, but not
True.
when should you put your arm there on his shoulder, on his back.
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
know, if that makes sense. But
So you'll like recommend a recovery kind
yeah,
of
or like
technique or
what were you feeling in that quarter? Like what have you used to help? Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
rather than like craft.
Yeah, real craft.
Can you just give Harry one craft lesson?
how long have we got? What?
Just a real short one. What do you reckon he does that he could improve?
I don't know. Run under the ball a bit, maybe. I don't know. Oh, that's just top of mind.
It's perfect.
That's right.
Perfect,
It's
mate.
just
That's
what I
right.
want.
You happy, right?
I'm happy.
Do I get to go back at one?
Yeah.
No, it's all right.
You've already done that.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
This is from Laura.
Hey Ben and Harry, it's Laura from Carnegie. I recently served Mitch McGovern at my work at Peter Alexander, and he seemed a bit shocked that I knew who he was. So I was just wondering, what's the weirdest or most unexpected place where someone has recognised you?
That's hilarious.
Great question.
Mitch McGovern was buying some
Mitchell was
jammies.
buying pajamas. I'll ask him about that tomorrow.
It's a great question.
Yeah,
Laura.
awesome question.
Mine would be in Pisa.
Oh, as in Leaning Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
What was the experience? Was it just a Bombers fan?
Yeah, it's Bombers. It was. I think we have mentioned this on the show, but it was like the first Bombers fan that wanted a selfie. So that was
Oh wow! Because of course you
it
you
was
weren't in
just
Australia.
happened.
Because you were at North Melbourne, yeah.
Oh, was I? What is wrong with you today?
No, because it wasn't in
Is that what you meant?
Australia. That's an interesting.
No,
point.
I thought.
No, you.
What?
You didn't get it, Will. Don't worry. It was a Harry.
I got Harry's joke.
No, not to the depth that I got it. It was different. It was multi-layered.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
It would have been weird for a Bombers fan to ask for a selfie.
Well, it was. I reckon it was a
It's
week.
a North
It was a week after it all went down. I reckon. So that was probably
Yeah.
the weirdest or coolest. It was pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
Was he certain it was you, not Harry?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He went in pretty confident. So anyway, it was good. Good on him. If he's listening, hope you're well, mate.
Yeah, nice. I think anytime you're overseas, like you think like footy, it might be just like obviously an Australian game, but yeah, I reckon a few times overseas, like in Florence. I reckon me and Maddie were in Florence in the off season, and we were just walking through the streets, and in the space of like an hour, I reckon 3 people came up and asked for a photo. In the middle of Florence, randomly on one afternoon. Yeah, so anytime it's overseas is a bit kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like,
You
cool,
are both
but-
just so tall, though. You really, you pop.
And you do forget that obviously there's other Australians.
Oh, of course,
in
there's
there,
heaps of
like-
Australians.
There's
yeah,
Australians everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are probably I'll try and think of any more quirky ones, but
Yeah. It's funny, like, if someone were to see you on Bridge Road, Richmond, they probably wouldn't stop for the selfie. But if you're in Pisa,
yeah.
like, oh,
and I've always
that's
found like
funny, that's
It's also an element of
when
it
you're
because it's
overseas,
just- it's an Australian. Like,
when you're overseas, you're just like, and something like that happens, you're like more inclined to have a chat about footy and like ask him about his travels and where they're off to, because it's like you're overseas and you see another Australian and like you just want to have a chat,
have a connection.
Yeah,
I agree.
Finally from Sheryl.
Hi guys, it's Sheryl from Malvern. A question for Harry. My 12-year-old son, whose name is also Harry, is a big fan of yours and he'd love to know which football boots you're going to wear this season. The last 2 years he got the same as yours and he wants it again this year. Thank you and go Blues.
Thanks, Sheryl.
That's
Harry, that's a
awesome.
great
That's
question.
lovely.
To answer the question about the boots, I'm just going to be wearing.
I'm not telling.
You find out on Thursday.
No. Just a pair of like all white Puma Futures. So I know you can get them from the Puma website, Ben, or
You sure can.
Rebel Sports, or
Best in the business.
what did we do last
Yeah.
year? We got the young listener,
Forgot his name.
Henry.
Henry?
it was.
Yeah, Henry. I think it was
Henry
Yeah.
was, yeah.
I've seen Henry a few times since actually. Yeah, great young.
You still
kid,
got the
so
boots, or you throw them out?
You wouldn't throw them out.
I don't know.
Might have outgrown them by now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
May have. If he needs a new pair, he knows where to ask. But yeah, the all white pairs. Who knows? Maybe we should do a boot giveaway or something. But I don't know.
I mean, we don't want to just encourage spamming the inbox with boot requests. I mean, maybe for Harry.
Every question for the week is just, can I be boots?
Give me your boots.
Hey, I'm size 16. I'm up.
Send through like 4 different pairs they want.
Wouldn't
no.
mind, wouldn't mind the red ones.
Thanks, Sheryl. That's a great question, Harry. Yeah, the all white Puma Futures that you can get online. So yeah,
Are you still doing your boot swap thing?
yeah. Just whenever the pair comes through.
Remind me, so one of you have different size, like the same size left foot as the other has left foot?
Correct, yeah.
Sorry, no. It's so my left foot is smaller than my right foot, and
Yeah.
Ben's left foot is bigger than his right
And
foot.
Ben's the
So
opposite.
with 2
Yeah.
pairs of boots, and you take 1 of each.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're wearing Puma Futures as well?
Yeah, correct.
Perfect.
Cheryl didn't want
For
it.
any-
Harry doesn't care.
for any young
Oh,
Bens
doesn't.
out there.
young Beanos that want to be.
Oh, nice one.
All right, remember on Instagram and TikTok, head to @Ben&Harry Podcast. It hasn't changed, Will.
No.
And thank you for not cutting in there
Didn't say anything.
and patronising us. It's always good. Send us a DM. As MJ always says, just if you're bored.
Any ideas?
Any
we love
ideas, just get
anything.
We just love it. So
Absolutely. And if you can leave us a review, Rollo, on Apple, that would be great. Or hit the bell on Spotify.
which notifies you when an episode is released. Remember, we're also on YouTube as well. So if you want to have it on the background while you're cooking dinner or chilling out, our YouTube is @Ben&Harry Podcast. So, yeah.
Nice one.
We've done a lot of, yep. Have
Yep.
you noticed that?
I have
No,
actually.
You would have noticed, yeah.
Good luck on the weekend, Bino. Hope it's
It's not the weekend, it's Friday, so.
Got it.
Come on. See you later.
My olive branch. I go to reach out, get received like that.
Oh, bad luck.
Anyway, I'm off. Go, boys.